Alright guys, today we'll talk about 7 takeaways from day 16 of Cincinnati Bengals training camp. Starting off right away, keep in mind that there was a lot of guys who were technically injured but not injured going into the training camp. So for example, maybe they were a little bit, kind of banged up from the last game, where they're not actually injured. It was in they're going to miss time, but it's kind of like they needed time to rest. DJ Turner is a really great example of this, especially after he has played the last 2 preseason games. He needed to just kind of take a day off, which is honestly very understandable with how much time he has played over the last 2 weeks. So overall, that is that. Now, starting off right away, the first point they bring up is actually something that we heard in the press conference yesterday, and it's that Taylor on the quarterback battle, that race is not over. Now, that is absolutely correct. He did go ahead and talk about how, this quarterback race, somebody, I think one of the reporters asked him, was there any real separation between the two quarterbacks? And based on what he said is, not really. We're going to see them both compete the final week of the season versus the Commanders, and at this moment in time, it's not really anyone's job. It's still going to be a back and forth to see who can get this job in the end. And they actually even asked him about the idea, would it be impossible for them to bring in another quarterback and then learn the playbook, get play in the preseason, with it being so close to the regular season. And based on what Coach said, he was very optimistic to the idea. He did not shut it down by saying, that this is, we're happy with the guys we have on the field right now. He pretty much kept it to you know what? If it's possible, it's possible. Now, I will say overall wise, when it comes to the other quarterback on the roster, because yes, there is another quarterback on the roster. We have who is of course an XFL quarterback. Really, the only reason why he has not had any play time, other than the fact that yes, it is Trevor Siemian and Jake Brown competing, is because of the fact that, as we saw last week, actually week 1, the Packers had a 10-minute drive to open the game. And the Falcons last week had a 10-minute drive to open the game. And at the end of the day, you can't, there's only so many reps to go around, right? So if you give one quarterback, say, okay, he's getting the first half. Well, if these defensive drives are 10 minutes each, you're not going to be able to give a third quarterback any type of reps, because you're trying to see as much as you can from the first 2 quarterbacks that you have, who probably are going to be competing for your second, for the second job on this roster. And as it says right here in the tweet, just to reiterate, Zach Taylor said both backups quarterbacks did stuff we need to see in 2-minute situations. This actually alludes to a fact that he said after the Falcons game, where he said he was very happy that we were able to score at the end of the first half and also the end of the second half. Obviously alluding to the final game not winning touchdown by Jake Browning ends up at the end of that game, where we handed off to Chase Brown. Nonetheless, though, he did say, again, the race is not over, and we have 3 days of work this week and a game. So we're going to find out after this upcoming game versus the Commanders, where are they sitting when it comes to the backup quarterback position. Next point, Burrow is recovering well. He did say he looks great physically walking around. He looks as good as he ever looked. Now, a reporter did go ahead and ask him a question about this and said, what's the timetable? Does he have to take a full, set of reps before he can go play a game? And Coach really didn't get too far into that. Now, of course, at the same time, he's not going to really go too much into that because, listen, at the end of the day, it's Joe Burrow, and he decides on, his timetable and when he wants to come back and, how much practice or preparation he needs. It's not really Coach's place to kind of, get into that point. But overall wise, this is really good. I mean, now, there wasn't really any way Coach could get around that question because, let's be honest, we saw Joe last game running around, week 1, running around the field. He was throwing the ball. He looked like he was his old self, and honestly, very awesome. Number 3, injuries. Yes, Cody Ford suffered a concussion in practice yesterday. Cornerback Marvin Tell suffered one in the game. DJ Turner is day-to-day with a soreness. BJ Hill has some soreness. Again, not really any concerns with soreness. They're just taking time, resting, getting better, and, just kind of doing them. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And good thing that it's not actually any type of injury. It's just simply, rest days. Wilcox is off the pup list and practicing. Now, Wilcox did actually mention that he can't really track his injury and when he exactly got hurt. He did say that he thinks it was back on December 4th when the Bengals played last year versus the Chiefs, and he believes that might be when he got hurt, but he said he couldn't really track down the exact day. Nonetheless, though, he's back. And yes, we're going to see him in his... But I don't know. I would say we're going to see him in his upcoming game, but I'm not 100% sure or not. I mean, really depends on what they want to do and how he's feeling, right? Because if he's feeling 100%, then obviously he can come back in this game. But if he's not, might want to maybe hold off on that. With that being said, yes, Cheeto is back. So we did see him participate on 11-on-11 today. He has great coverage on the first play while guarding Jamar Chase. What a comeback. Now, we actually saw this yesterday. Yesterday, was it? Yeah, yesterday when he did 7-on-7. And now today he did 11-on-11. So he's fully back. And we're not going to see him in this upcoming game most likely. But it's nice to see him back in training camp, practicing at a high level and being able to fully run with people. I mean, his injury definitely... I was kind of questioning he was even going to come back by this time period. And now that he is back, I mean, there was rumors, obviously. Let's get this straight. This always happens around injuries. I mean, they said Joe Burrow might be out for 8.5 weeks. That was the CBS reporter, Bryant McFadden. I'm still not going to let that go because I still think that's so outrageous how a analyst can say someone else's injury is going to take 8.5 weeks because his injury took a week. Beside the point. He is a squealer. So, squealers are squealers. But, no, Cheeto, there was rumors, like, going into this offseason that, oh, yeah, he won't be back to probably around 2 or 3 weeks into the season. And he's fully back. And he's ready. And this secondary is going to be deadly this year for that reason. Now, of course, we talked about it before, but Logan Wilson did have this one-handed touchdown. One-handed interception in the end zone. My bad. I thought touchdown because I'm thinking about the what's called the end zone here. But yes, he had that one-handed go up and grab it type of ball. Freaking love Logan Wilson. New contract extension. We got him for, foreseeable future here. And this is something we need to see him do. Can you imagine if he did this in the AFC Championship game to win the game? I would honestly probably rip my shirt off and shave my head. I ain't gonna lie to you, that's how excited I would be. And that is the next point here. Defense has another dominant day. Great day for the defense. Jalen Davis had 2 picks, including 2 pick sixes, including what would be a red zone pick 6 of Trevor Siemian. He did also have a pick that was, in all honesty, the pick 6 play they're talking about. It was such a bad pass. It was intended for Charlie Jones, but it was underthrown completely, and it ends up becoming a pick 6. And that's fully on Trevor Siemian, by the way. That was not on Charlie Jones. I saw a couple people say, "Oh yeah, Charlie Jones got to run a better route." That thing was absolutely underthrown, and that was not even close. I actually looked at it in the video yesterday. But another day, another pick from Mike Hilton, who also nearly had a second go through his hands. Then, of course, Logan Wilson with the one-hander in the red zone. It was a great day, guys. It was a great day in training camp, and we're going to continue to have great days. And I will be live on Saturday to break down the next step in the battle of preseason. I'll see you guys next one. Peace out.